Hello, everybody out there. I hope that everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. And yesterday was Friday, today, Saturday, the Thanksgiving weekend after the Black Friday chaos. I hope if you had a chance to get you an Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S, I hope you was able to grab one or get some good games that were on sale for for Black Friday, as we are heading into Cyber Monday. But I am here today, a guest on Di-Rrec Gaming, one who really needs no introduction, but the introduction is out of respect for his craft and respect to the game. For this show is going to show some unity. I feel like as we as gamers around the world are going through a rough time right now. I feel like this show was very much needed from somebody who basically comes right out of the streets of us, right out of the streets, literally right out of the streets, worked his butt off with his design and climbed through the ranks consistently day in and day out. We saw him day in and day out, just day in and day out. Designs, fan art. One controller after another, one console after another, another console, another controller. I mean, you're wondering how can this guy just keep doing this day in and day out? And I mean, he is what you define resilience, consistency, hard worker, one that works, talks volumes for himself, a person who is defined by his work. He doesn't have to talk a lot because his work does all the talking. There's one thing that's undeniable about this guy here, and that is his consistency, his way of being within the gaming community, his way of shedding light to all around the gaming community. We known him as the Xbox Pope, to where now he is the Pope. He is the originator of the fan art within the Xbox community, and I'm here to proudly present this guy right here, Xbox Pope on Di-Rrec Gaming. Glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, so I've finally come to bless your show, eh?
Pope, we're
It's been a funny old journey.
man, what a journey it's been with you, man. The funny part is a lot of people they don't know the origin of this right here, and it's funny, man,
No,
because when I first got on Twitter and I was, just new, man, I didn't know, just putting in some good Xbox posts, and I would see your stuff back then. And I'd be like, man, who's this Xbox Pope guy with these designs? So
yeah,
when you don't know you, you're like, oh, he's just copy and pasting some stuff, but it looks good, it's decent. Nobody was really paying attention to you like that. But then all of a sudden, man, it just got to the point where we kept seeing you day in and day out. And you're like, gosh, this dude never sleeps. And one day I finally just saw, man, that your likes started climbing. I mean, it just got ridiculous, man. Like
yeah.
the
I mean,
people started
I,
enjoying your art.
I can get up to, you know, I think even just that video I posted just the other day, that's up to something like 50,000 hits or something. It's crazy how it's kind of all come about. I kind of know it. You know, think everybody knows who Banksy is. The spray artist who kind of like just comes in one day, sprays some fantastic art, and then nobody knows who he is. I kind of guess Xbox Pope's a little bit like that. He does observe the community a lot. And I do see people struggling on especially off the mixer, going on to Twitch, and they're trying to build their community back up again, or there might be someone just having a bit of a shit day. Sorry, I cursed. Um, but it's my job to sort of turn my art, let's say, onto a brand that they already love because they're gamers anyway, and just make them feel a little bit special that day.
Right.
Um, and that's kind of where it used to be. Can you do as a gear controller? Can you do as a Halo controller, and it's kind of like drifted into where the art has become more of um,
Hey,
uh,
Pope, speak up a little bit. Speak up a
it,
little bit, Pope. You're okay.
it's yeah, it's
There you go.
the art's turned into something where it's kind of more treasured, let's say, where people are starting to print it out and put it on their wall. People are starting to use it as screensavers on their phones or on their computers because it's highly treasured because it means so much to them personally.
Right.
Um, and that's the difference where I once was, where I was, like you say, just doing some random fan art of things. But I think what I also like to do is I also like to not pre-warn people, but just surprise them.
Right.
Just drop it from a height, and I think later on I get these messages of like, oh my god, like I was having a really bad day the day, but you've just brought so much joy and happiness just from that one little drop. Um, so I kind of know that it means a lot more to people than just like you were saying before, bit of copy and paste here and there or things like that. Because you know these things to me, I don't really think about them when I produce them. Like I don't go, oh, I'll move this to the left, I'll move this to the right. I just let them happen naturally. Like they're so organic. Like if a lot of people do ask us to actually stream how I do these things, um, but I think I think a lot of there is no secret to it. It's just I think it's almost the artist like Bob Ross or something.
Right.
Like how he's doing his paintings and he just does a couple of strokes and all of a sudden it's a tree or something.
Right.
It's kind of a little bit like that, really, how it happens. It's there's a base coat goes down, and then I'll put a couple of layers in there, and then what I also try to do is find some little hidden gems about people, like maybe games that they like or things that they like, and then I integrate that into the design. So they start to become a little bit more personal.
Right.
Um, but other than that, it just still blows my mind to this day how Xbox Pope's sort of so treasured. He's
Right.
um, it it does. It just kind of blows my mind still. Um, and even when like I say, I've just announced there some quite big partnerships. Um, even to have them guys call me, so
Yeah.
it's like get a message from well, there's a few more announcements to come. Um,
Right. We know you can't speak on everything, but we've we've
no,
we've seen the few announcements that you presented to us so far. But yeah, we understand that you have to keep quiet until they let you know to announce things. But
I mean, some of it, it's just it's on me really.
okay.
It's just me holding back a little bit because a lot of people will actually comment in my tweets. Oh, Pope, you're just a tease. But I kind of it's not me being a tease. I just find it's it's just nice to sort of build people's expectations a little bit and then drop something, because I think it just kind of builds that more excitement, that more pleasure um, when I do drop something. Um, it's almost like I describe it. It's almost like it's almost like waiting for Christmas Day, and we're trying to open your presents. It's just a nice little warm feeling.
Right. You know, when I think about you, man, I think about like I was saying when I started to see your likes go up, and I
Yeah,
started saying, man, I remember, and I'm saying to myself, yeah, he's making an impact now. People are starting to gravitate to your designs, and then I didn't want to be that person, Pope, to where once you started getting to that place, oh, now I want to hey Pope, what's going on, or
Do you know what it is? That it totally annoys the hell out of it. I get people in my DMs and they kind of go, oh, I didn't really want to bother you because I know you're really busy. I was like, yeah, man, like I'm here for you all the time. Well, as much time as I can give you. Like I don't look like. I think I was in a Twitch stream the other day, and someone said, "Oh yeah, Pope, you're getting big now. You'll not want to talk to the likes of me." And it's like, yeah, like I'm no like prima donna. I've been doing this for like over 30 years.
Yeah,
I've worked with some of the richest people in the world. I've designed for some of the biggest names in the world. Like that, them days are nothing to me. I'm just a humble guy. Just I'm nearly 50-year old.
yeah,
I'm just having fun with what time I've got left. But the most important thing I love is just having people come in me DMs or in me Twitter feed or Instagram and just go, "Hey, Bob, how's it going?" "Oh yeah, it's fine." But sometimes I have to encourage that. Sometimes I have to put tweets out saying, "What's everybody up to?"
yeah. Because if you
You
don't,
know?
you'll get flooded out, and then people get mad because you didn't have enough time to reach back, and when I'm gonna tell you something, I'm that story. But the funny part is when I felt that right. I was like, I don't want to say something to this guy,
Yeah,
and when he starts becoming something, because you could see it, you could feel it, right? And I remember I hit you up in the DM and I was like, hey, listen, man, I'm starting out this channel. I want to just, I want to focus on Xbox. I gave you the whole, my whole theory on what I wanted to do with Di-Rrec gaming, and
yeah,
sure enough, man, you responded back. Hey, that's good, man. You ought to keep going. Just stay focused on your brand. Don't stop, and just be consistent. And you said, hey, I'm real busy right now. And I remember you saying that, and you was like, and
yeah.
when you normally get that from somebody, you're like, oh man, he's just laying me down softly, and you're like,
No,
I
honestly,
have
I
so
really
many
am.
people. Yeah, you was telling me, you was like, I have so many people in front of you to the, and you was like, I don't want to, I don't want to tell you that I don't want to do the interview, but you was like, I got so much ahead of me right now. When I can get all this stuff done, man, and if I can remember, because that was your key word, if I can remember, you was like, I'll reach back to you, but don't get mad if it's not sometime soon. Well, I just want to tell people here on Di-Rrec Gaming today, man, that's been over 2 years ago when when that happened. And
2 years
Xbox
of
Pope,
busyness.
right? And Xbox Pope has come here, man. So for that fact, your word was born with me.
I
Um,
mean, like,
and that
for
means a
instance,
lot, man.
I mean, I'll tell you, what you got to remember is I can get over 1,000, and I mean 1,000 requests a week.
Yeah,
You know, like that's how crazy Pope's life is. But and and sometimes it does annoy you sometimes because um when I post something and I get these lovely messages, but when I say something nice to somebody, I'll get like a little like. And I sometimes think, but surely that person could have took. I'm super busy, like I'm crazy busy. Like
right,
I live on like 3-4 hours sleep because I'm that busy. But at least I take the time to respond to someone and go, "Thank you very much, mate," or "Cheers," or and I think that's what makes me a little bit different is although my Twitter feed can be super chaotic, um, I'll always try my hardest to reach out to people. In fact, I get DMs every day of like, "Oh, poor, I'm struggling with this. Can you help us with this?" Or "Do you know anybody who can do this?" Or and I'm sorry to say on your show, but I even get the sad stories of like, that like some people are going to end their lives, and I've got to try and fix that. That's some of
right,
the burdens that people don't see that I actually do behind the scenes. Um, but I don't have the answers to everything, but at least what I've got is I've got a wonderful community that I've built up, some fantastic people who aren't just gamers.
Right.
They've been through the same tortures as this person. They've had the same sort of problems, but they've also told us about them. So I'll go, oh yeah, what you need to do is reach out to this person because they had a similar situation. And I'm telling you now, they're a fantastic guy or a fantastic woman. They'll be able to help you out. Not a problem, you know. And that's what I do behind the scenes that people don't see, you know. Um, no, I don't need to broadcast that. You see, I don't need to,
No,
promote
go
that.
ahead. No, 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 no. You're right.
No,
You're
no,
fine,
but
brother.
I'm
This
saying
is your
that
interview. This is your interview. You're just
no,
explaining.
what
You're okay, brother.
no, but what I'm saying is I don't need to tell them tales
Exactly.
On Twitter land, you know.
Right. That's more personal. That's between you and that person.
So, but what I'm trying to do is in this interview is just explain that what you might see Pope on social media, but he is doing a lot of things behind the scenes that you know not everyone sees, and and I think when you were describing about how the journey I've come on from doing the odd little fan art for a couple of friends of mine to then doing multiple designs for some of the biggest game companies at the minute that I'm working on. Um, the um, the tail there is, and if other people want to achieve that kind of endeavor, you've just got to work hard, you know. Um, Unfortunately,
That's right.
um, and I'm happy to help people get on them right paths, you know, because I've been on a few wrong paths.
And
Um,
let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of your humbling beginnings, Pope. Um, talk about your low point, and then we'll start at your low point, and then we'll start at how you started, gaining confidence and building yourself up as a person, mentally and physically, to get to where you would be where you at today.
I think without going into like huge dark areas, it's but I've been round the block a lot. Um, I've had zero. I've been living on the streets, homeless and stuff whatnot. But I think the only way you as a person get out of that troublesome time is you have to kind of say it to yourself in your head, like this is not me, like this is not my future, like you know. Um, and I think at the minute there's quite a lot of people going through super difficult times, especially with COVID. There's a lot of family members, getting COVID, and I've experienced that over these past couple of months with like my wife's grandfather, and
Oh
and
man,
and
sorry to hear about that.
you can't visit them, you can't hold their hands and stuff. So there's a lot of that going on at the minute, and people losing their jobs, people, and I think one thing I've learned from all the bad things that have happened to me is sometimes those things have got to happen to make your heart stronger for the next part of the journey.
Correct.
So that's the way I look at, you know, if you do experience bad things in life, which everyone will, um, your life's not meant to be perfect. Um, but just don't look at them as obstacles. Just look at them as they're there to make you stronger. Um, and I think because I've experienced a lot of ups and downs, the where I'm at right now, I'm a stronger person. Um, so yeah, it's always you know life's always about ups and downs.
That is so true, man. I'm glad you elaborated on the COVID situation because
Yeah,
I think this show right here, man, is very refreshing. Um, we have so much to be thankful for. so much to be grateful for. And
Yeah.
it's so easy to complain about things, but like, you know what, Pope, I'm from that teaching where, there's a place and a time for everything,
Yeah.
and when we're joking, throwing jabs and talking games and comparing things and you know, doing what we do in the console space, there's a time for that. There's a time for that. And then, you never get too personal with it. It's all
No.
for the fun and just all for the
Well,
community
we
space, right?
we
And then you
we would call
see,
that banter, like
yeah, like banter. That's right. The European
it's
word is banter. A lot of bantering. That's right. And hey, shout outs to my man Delphi for teaching me that the banter. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a bunch of banter. That's exactly what it is. And so, when all that smoke clears, you the point of realization is, saying, you know what, the life is precious. We,
yeah,
we 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 get a chance, we get an opportunity every day to wake up and do something. Like you said, whether it's going to be easy for you, whether the day is nice and pleasant to your body, or whether it's not going to be easy for you and the weather is harsh and it just looks like unpleasant to your body. But besides that, those are things you can't control. So what
no,
you do is you adjust to those things, and the most positive mindset that you can obtain, that's what you keep. And because it's the things from the inner that can't be touched. It's the outside things that can be influenced, but the inner things can't be manipulated. You control what you're thinking. You control how you feel. So you
yeah,
determine every single day how you want to present yourself. And today, uh, with us, Pope, I think that
yeah,
we've decided to bring a little unity, because we can lose our focus on games and get selfish. And
yeah.
these devs are going through the same thing, Pope. um
Oh
I
yeah,
remember we lost one of them to COVID. Ninja Theory lost a dear close friend of theirs to it, and I remember this was when COVID was just getting out there. And there's,
do you,
like you said,
do you know the scary thing? Like, if you
I
think
I
this,
personally had an uncle, so I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about. I had a
this,
family member who had it and got over it, got thankfully, but
yeah.
it put him out for like 2 weeks.
The thing people need to realize about COVID is it doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how old you are either. When this thing gets a hold of you, it's gonna either go two
Right,
ways. It's gonna hurt you or it's gonna kill you. That's just
right,
that's the options you've got, really. So I
right,
think people, it's good that people are starting to realize and be careful, a lot more careful, wearing masks and things like that. But I
right,
think at the same time, it puts people's lives in perspective, if because you think, not that you have to go out and panic. That's not what it's about. It's about understanding. Hey, I'm like I'm in the bracket of more risk here. Like, do I live my life to the full, or do I just sort of you know plotter on, and I think, with, like you were just talking there about, gamers in general. I think, as us like I would call us old school gamers, uh, we've had a lot of challenges with technology, and we've experienced different brands, like, as we've grown up, Sega and Nintendo, and then kind of drifting more into PlayStation and Xbox. Um, and I think we can better educate the next generation that it's not. Yeah, so you can still have the football analogy, my team versus your team, um, type feeling, where my team's going to win, your team's going to lose type. But there's a line that you shouldn't cross. Um, it, we, like you say, we call it banter. where you're just having a bit of a joke. But at the end of the day, you're not trying to maliciously hurt anybody. You're just having a little bit of fun, you know.
That's
Um,
right.
but I think a lot of gamers, like as in next generation, maybes have kind of lost that knowledge or that or haven't been educated to experience what we know is um, you know, and it's sometimes when look at my Twitter feed, it is hard
Right.
to see like some people getting like maliciously attacked or I'm gonna come and burn your house or something. I'm thinking, what?
Right.
Has it really got to that level?
Right.
Like,
It gets out of hand because the emotions flare up, and it's
and
like
I'm thinking,
they don't
God,
get it. Yeah, they don't get it, man. They just
I'm
don't get
thinking.
it.
So I think when I started doing the PlayStation fan art, it kind of shocked a few people because hang on a minute, you're Xbox Pro, you're not supposed to do PlayStation, and it's like, well, are you going to change your name? And I was like, well, what do you want us to change my name for? It's just a name, you know. But it just wouldn't register in some people's heads that you know some guy called Xbox Pope is actually designing PlayStation stuff. Um, it, it, but I think now the more that I'm doing it, and the more that people are seeing it, the more they're starting to accept it. Um, and I think that's just what other things are, like the more people experience something, the more they'll accept it.
You're right. And it's up to the community to be able to break that down
Yeah,
and stay positive. Don't, and when you see negativity that will actually hurt the community, speak about it. Don't feel
yeah,
like you don't have a voice on social media. If you have an account, be positive about it in times of need. Like, don't ignore things, because that's what gets people comfortable, and
yeah,
and it causes this environment of thinking that, hey, yeah, at the end of the day, I'll say whatever I want. And sure enough, you can say whatever you want, but
yeah,
when
yeah.
it's not going to be accepted, you're more reluctant to say it, because these devs work hard.
Oh,
They work hard.
crazy
Anybody,
hard.
yeah, and for the fact that they're working from home, just like today, we got the article about 343 being having been silent since the delay, and it's just like they're working. They're doing everything they can because they want this game to speak for itself, and I can respect that,
Yeah. The
because
thing, the thing
I'm
is,
I'm at a point where I come from a place where you don't have to show me everything every single time. Like,
yeah,
bring it out and let me go, wow,
yeah.
surprise me with something.
It's quite funny because yeah, like I said, I'm not a boastful type of person, but I have a lot of developers that follow me on social media,
Hmm.
and I kind of know what's sometimes is going on behind the scenes, not like full on NDA style, but just little bits. So, but what that does for me is it's not giving me the power to sort of say, oh, I know more than you.
Right.
What it does is it gives me the power to be able to support them even more because, like you've just said there, these guys work so hard. And you think, you know what it is? I'm going to make some fan art. Next time the producer tweets, I'm going to put some huge effort in, giving them some lots of hype, lots of love, because these guys need a good old, almost like an arm around them, like that type of feeling. Um, and that's kind of the difference of how I take knowledge is I take knowledge and I kind of turn it into an emotion. Um, so it's giving people that sort of feeling like, oh yeah, I've done good today, haven't I? Yeah, you've done brilliant.
That's right. Yep.
You've done brilliant. Like keep it up. Keep going. Um, and I think the more people who see people out there, and it might only be someone with like 50 followers, and you think, well, he's only got 50 followers, but still that person's important, you
Right.
know. And that's how I look at it. Is I don't look at numbers. I just look at
Right.
I look at people. Um,
And you know why you look at numbers, Pope? Is because you know where you come from. It
yeah.
doesn't come from a place where it's dictated off of clout. And when you can stand on your own 10 toes and you actually build something from the get-go, like not switcheroo stuff, but from the get-go. Because that was going to be my next question to you. What inspired you to design? Who got you into designing, or who influenced you into designing? And
So,
then where did it go
uh,
from that to where you got into the Xbox space first
so
before you branched out?
yeah, I mean, I've always been good at drawing. You know, in fact, back in the day, to pay my bills or make a bit of money, I used to, draw portraits for people, like and kind of sell them. Um, and I went to college quite late, and I did all my degrees. Got the highest degree qualifications you can think of. Just because, again, not because I was good, it's because I fought for it. I was like, I'm determined to get high grades. I'm determined to pass this course. I'm determined and that's how I achieved them. And even then, when I had all them high qualifications, nobody would touch us because I was overqualified. And you go, what?
Wow.
And I'm going, hang on. So I've worked 6 years of my life and I can't even get a job because I'm now overqualified. And I'm going, what? Anyway, some company give us an opportunity. So I ended up designing exhibitions. I think you guys call them booths, Um, and so I used to build them around the world. Um, then I moved into almost like a marketing design agency. So then I was designing for like Hugo Boss, Ralph Lauren, Dolce Gabbana, um, Lacoste, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's. I ended up designing for over 65 brands, And the, the the job that I had to do was one, design what that actual product looks like. Um, what does it look like in store? So then you have to build up a knowledge base of how do you make customers buy a product, It's not about making things look pretty. You end up using a lot of like psychology processes. You use a lot of digital trends, trend data. Um, so when we discuss about when some people talk about PlayStation marketing or Xbox marketing, like that's not just one guy that's kind of just sat in a room drawing that up,
Right.
that's like a whole team of people looking at so much data, so much information, then they'll kind of execute it. Um, so even the stuff that I do, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that it can be months of work, months and months for a 1 minute thing on a shelf.
Right.
And then I kind of got into social media, and I met up with Tim Dog, the good old Tim Dog. He's always floating around somewhere. And then I got to know a few other guys who used to go to the E3 conferences and stuff.
Right.
Uh, and then that's how I got introduced to Aaron and Phil. And I think one guy I'd say is, can you do is like a Gears controller?
Right.
And I was like, okay, I've never done this before, but yeah, I'll give it a go. And then it was like, oh my God, can you do me I don't know, something else controller? And it kind of just spiraled out of control where I was just doing all these controllers for people. Um, but then I used to stop doing the requests and I would just do random ones for people. So I would look at, the YouTubers who maybe are just starting, or maybe it's the mix of people who, like, I don't know, they had like 8 followers or something.
Right.
Um, but I could see the potential in the stream. So I'm going, yeah, this person's really good, like, they need some attention here.
Right.
So the only way I could draw attention to their stream, because at the time, if I just said, "Hi, I'm Xbox Pope," will go and follow this dude, um, people would probably say, like, who's this guy?
Right.
So
Exactly.
the only way I could really sort of emphasize how cool this person was by doing them a bit of fan art, Um, and then it was starting to get to the point where my work would be on, like, I don't know, so many media channels. Like if you Google Xbox Pope, the amount of media coverage and YouTube channels and God knows what is showing my work. Like they're not crediting me, and people in the community kind of go crazy for that. And they're going to go, "Hey Pope, they're not saying this is your work."
Right. You see that now? Now, see, the reason why is because you have been able to obtain a community within your work who appreciate your work, and so
Yeah,
now you have like defenders of what you've built, and so if
mm,
they see anything out there that's being done wrongfully, they're gonna bring it to your attention. That's a good thing.
honestly, honestly, legal. It's mental. Like I
It
didn't
means
like
a lot. Yeah, I know
I
what you
didn't
mean.
I didn't even know I had like a Reddit account, man. And like I'm going, what the hell is Reddit? And they were, well, yeah, everyone's talking about you on Reddit. I'm going, really? And then I didn't even have Facebook at the time, and people go, but you're like massive on Facebook, and I'm going, really? I didn't even know.
Right.
And because I literally don't take things like I don't look for popularity, if you know what I mean. It's like I just do stuff, and then but yeah, I've got lots of defenders. If someone, like, I don't know, someone trolled us or something, Jesus, God help them, because there'll be a fair few people on that case. But going back to the credit thing, yeah, I think sometimes I'll look at it and kind of go, well, really, they should have said this is Xbox Pope's work, or even if they try to crop my watermark out, people still know it's my work, because it's got its own identity. Um, and but sometimes I've just got to go back and go, look, at the end of the day, it's come back to me, and everybody knows it's my work anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's fine, you know. Um, but yeah, my community is fantastic. I love my community so much. It's just hard sometimes to keep total in touch with them. Like, I wish I could speak to everybody, but unfortunately I can't. um, but no, they're very special.
Right. It means a lot when you got people who really appreciate the work that you've established, and they don't want to see anything detrimental to it. But
Yeah,
you build that respect. You build that rep, and when you carry yourself along with it, you'll bring a community
yeah,
right along with you. um yeah, it's if you've never been a person that really pay attention to his work, we've all seen you come up, and we all seen how you've been consistent with that. So once you was always good with art, and
yeah.
you got into the controller. Okay, you got through your E3, met some people, and you was able to get your hands on a controller and make a design. And then from there, how did you get to the consoles, Pope?
Um, well, obviously, do you remember Xbox Addict?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So obviously, when I first met Xbox Addict, and he had this, like, I don't know, garage or a living room, I think, with like the most amazing amount of controllers I've ever seen in my life. This guy had everything. So me and him became like super good friends, you know.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you and
Um,
Attic was close friends.
yeah, so we would talk virtually every day or every other day, you know. And and then this new game was coming out with like called Sea of Thieves, you know. And so me and him said, let's surprise them with our own controller, you know, Sea of Thieves controller. And I was like, okay. And what we'll do is we'll give one to Aaron Greenberg and we'll give one to Craig Duncan, just
Right.
just to say like thanks for all the hard work, you know, going back to the the developer um, pat on the back type scenario, you know.
Right.
So I designed this controller, I made the boxes in my garage. I was like covered in freaking spray paint and everything, you know. And we sent them off, and these, you know, bless the guys were just in love with these controllers, you know. And and they ended up putting me and Addict inside the game, you know, Sea of Thieves game. We're like, this is crazy.
Oh, they did? They put y'all in there, didn't they?
Yeah, so we're like forever Easter eggs in the game, you know. And
Nice.
I was
Nice.
like, this is crazy, you know. I didn't expect this to happen. So the it just kind of, and then obviously Matt or Xbox Addict had passed away, you know. So I made a kind of promise to him that I would continue this journey that me and him were gonna kind of do, you know, of like bringing joy to people, making controllers, trying to get them out there, get them into the hands of people, or even just as little gifts, just to say thank you for all the hard work, you know. So that's kind of what I'm continuing. So when you talk about how did you get in the controllers, the consoles, it's it's just a journey from what me and him were going to do together before he passed away, you know. Um, and I think now that the fan art is seen by like sort of 2K or um, I mean it's probably no big secret, but I'm kind of like I'm working with like Square Enix, you know. I'm working with EA. I'm working with yeah. There's well, there is more, you know. There's in fact there's a huge drop going to come possibly in a couple of weeks' time. That I reckon, I reckon when this drops, it probably will break the internet.
Right.
Just because it's so huge.
Man. So that I didn't, I knew I saw the end. I saw the end of y'all's friendship because I remember you made a public post about Xbox Addict, and
Yeah.
I saw that. That's when,
Well,
that's when I
yeah, we did the
because I
E3.
didn't when I came on Twitter, I caught the end of him. He was still living then, but then he
Yeah.
passed away. I saw that, and then I remember his wife coming up on there and telling everybody how much she's appreciative for the kind words and everything like that. But when I finally did my research on him, man, his work was incredible. Him being a war veteran, but
Oh, yeah.
putting the Xbox brand. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When you didn't think that there was somebody out there that really knew how to hold it down, because Attic was one of those guys, man, that it's hard to do that. It's hard to represent Xbox 100% as far as
Yeah.
out here in the social media area. I don't know why, but it's this stigma about if you're an Xbox fan only, something's wrong with you or something. I don't
Yeah.
get it. But I never saw anybody that represented any other gaming brand do what he did.
And the thing is, what you got to remember is Xbox Addict is very much like me. Like, I can get away with saying, you know, good things, bad things, not as a sense of bad things, but I can hype up any PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, Xbox, but people won't necessarily give us a hard time for doing that. You know, they're kind of going to go, good on you, Pope, you know. But, you
Right.
know, Xbox Addict what was like this kid bled green, like literally bled green
You're right.
but
It's
but
you're right.
he never once sort of made people fanboys, if you know what I
Right.
mean. He always said gaming is gaming. Enjoy it where you are. If you want to enjoy it on PlayStation, cool. If you want to
That's
enjoy it,
it.
cool. Like, do you know
Right.
what I mean? So he loved the brand, and
Right.
that's
Because he knew that despite everything else, he enjoyed where he was at. You know,
exactly.
I wish I would have had some time to been able to talk to him because I always had that with me. I've
Yeah,
seen it. I've seen it outside of social media before this social media with the gaming thing really took off. It was out there. It was in your everyday life. And it when I saw that it transpired on social media, I was like, man, they literally carried this over here. And when I saw how he made Xbox look good, because there's a lot of people who can't. You have to. It takes a certain gamer. It's hard to describe, but it
yeah,
takes a certain gamer. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Xbox games don't make it easy for you. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about difficulties. I'm talking about challenging you as a gamer to step out of your comfort zones and play games that you might not play. The Xbox brand challenges you as a gamer to step out of your comfort zone and try new games that you would normally not try. That's
yeah,
what I've always loved about Xbox. On top of that is when they do make games, they're games that you never heard of.
yeah,
Quantum Break, when they get a game, Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, Arise Son of Rome, uh, what else? Titanfall. We never had
yeah,
games. We never had them. Those games are original IPs. And we're looking and they're keeping that same code. The Medium, Scorn. We're
yeah,
going into this. The Chorus. All these original games that have no sequels, no past relationships to anything. And that's what made me an Xbox fan.
yeah,
I miss games like Jade Empire. I miss games like that. You know, there's so many great games that only came around one time, and they need to be brought back.
yeah.
You
And I
know,
think, and I think the beauty of the Game Pass, because you know, personally for me, sometimes like I say, I'm always busy. Um, I generally don't get a lot of time to game because, like I say, I'm always making something. And but when I do get the game, there's games where d- you know do I really want to pay $60 for that? Like like I don't know if I want to like risk it. But the beauty of Game Pass is I just download it and I give it a try, and I kind of
that's it.
and I
It
kind of go, actually, this is a couple of few months ago. It's an old game, but I ended up playing. Is it Plague's Tale, and it was on Game Pass.
uh
Jeez, this thing I couldn't put down. I was addicted to it. I was like, but I wouldn't go out and buy that kind type of game.
right.
Um, but at least it gives us the opportunity to try it. And I didn't have to pay for it. Fair enough, I'm paying it in Game Pass, but um, so it is. It's a very clever system. Is Game Pass.
It
Um,
really is. And I look at Game Pass as the ultimate definition of what it is to Xbox game. Game Pass, just what I was talking about. There's finally a service that defines the gaming aspect of Xbox brand, and that's Game Pass. You
yeah,
play these games, you try these games, and then and if you decide that you don't like it, hey, no love lost. But you may try a game and you may love it, and because you tried it and the culture tries it, you're able to help that developer now move to the next level.
yeah, and I think as well. I think a lot of people get tied up with other people's opinions. Like, oh, this game's trash. Didn't buy it. Anything. Yeah, but what game might be trash to one person is quite a delight to somebody else. You you don't have to like something because or hate something because somebody else does. Like, and I think the sooner you realize that as a gamer, that you're not being judged. You can put a post on there like saying, I don't know, I like Minecraft or something. You go, what? You like Mine? Well, why? And it's like, I think you shouldn't be forced to like something just because the majority,
There you go.
you
Speak on it,
know.
Pope.
And I think,
On this show, we say speak on it. There you go.
and I think what people need to realize is being like, I first started off in Atari, like 8-bit gaming.
That's it. That's it.
It's like, how shit are the graphics were there?
It was dots. It was dot men. Y'all were called the dot men, man. I
Yeah,
was from the television, so I remember that the
and you
console
think,
battle was the television guys versus the dot men.
and you think, you know, if you give a child nowadays something like that, they'll probably say like, what the hell is this?
Right.
Where's the photorealism? And I think people need to stop getting into this. Oh, is it 60 frames? Is it 120
Oh my
frames? Is it?
goodness, I'm
It's like
glad you said that.
it's like
Xbox Pope.
just
Xbox
play,
Pope.
just
That's
just
right.
play the game, have some fun, and do you know what it is? Because tomorrow you could be dead. Like that's how
Yeah, right.
simple it is.
Exactly. You know what, Xbox Pope? I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because the reason why you can bring that up, here's the reason why you truly can bring that up. Because you come from a place just like me, but we're gonna focus on what you said. That and you know what I'm about to say is true. We come from a place where none of that mattered.
No, it
We
didn't.
didn't, we didn't, we never talked frame rates. We never had technical breakdowns. We didn't have comparisons. There was none of that stuff. You didn't you was even lucky if the company even took time to make a commercial about the game. So you would just hear that it was coming out. You would get that game, you would play it, and if it was great, you spoke about it at school or at the
Yeah,
playground or outside in your neighborhood. Or if it wasn't that good, you spoke about it. But the thing was, we had to buy the game. We didn't have an option. I mean, you just didn't get it. You had to buy it and then you had to assess it. So it was, you took a W, you took an L, but you had to obtain the game and you had to speak on it by experience. There was no, you're right. There
mm.
wasn't all this technical stuff we got now, all this
Oh, I
technical
remember
stuff.
buying games at a huge risk.
Yeah,
You
at a
know,
risk. That's
and
it. You bought the
you'd have
game
to.
on a risk.
I mean, there was no things like, you just had to get on the bus, go all the way into town, travel like a good 10, 20 miles, and then you would see these three games, and you go, which one do I get? I've only got the money for one. Which one? And you would say, right, I'm going to take this one. You buy the game, you get all the 10, 20 miles home, put it in, and you just thought, oh, I wish I'd bought the other one now.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, it's like, oh, it was a gamble.
It was a gamble. It certainly was, man. It was a gamble. And we had our strategy guides. Sometimes within those strategy guides, you would get some cheat codes. We had little cheat codes, but that was it. I mean, that was it, man. Everything was a gamble. And another thing, Pope, I speak about this all the time. Um, the art of surprise. We've gotten away from being surprised. Look, we feel as if gamers, we need 10, 15, 20, even 30, sometimes an hour of gameplay of a game, just so
Yeah,
we can sit there and complain about it or make assessments about it. But when we were coming up, there's a certain industry that still does this, and it does no problem selling billions of dollars, right? The movie industry, they do trailers to this day, Pope. They don't,
yeah,
you don't, because when you show a movie for an hour or 20 minutes, you ruined it. What's the point of me going to see the movie? I already know what it's about. So you throw little trailers that catch people's eyes, draw the attention, gain the hype, and then you
yeah,
put that release date out and they go to the movies. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. They do a weekend movie run, and then the sales come out, and it's all hyped again. And sometimes people say, "I can't wait for the next weekend. I'm gonna go watch it again," and it's for the thrill ride because when we're taking away the thrill out of gaming when we're doing that. We're doing too much of that. Like before the
Yeah,
game even comes out, Pope, people are getting the game. They're playing it. They're showing you on YouTube. Oh, look, I'm playing it. Um,
yeah,
and it's just you're like, man, really? When does the gamer get a chance to showcase? Put the game out for everybody. Let's see who can make the best videos. Let's see who can really appreciate it because a lot of times we get lost in translation because we think that we are expected to get something.
yeah. Well, when you talk about expecting, because I was trying to get an Xbox Series X for my son, for Christmas,
Right.
and they were like, "What did Xbox not send you one?" And I was like, "No, why?" Well, because your Xbox blew up, and I go, "And I'm not
Right.
like just because I've got a name or I like to hype the brand a little bit doesn't mean
Right.
I should get a free one." I says, if Xbox turned around to me tomorrow and said, "We're going to send you a free Xbox," I'll go, "Well, let me find someone who's going to get nothing for Christmas. I'll get their address and you can send it there instead." I mean, because that's more important to me than me getting a free Xbox,
Right. Because right.
because
When you're in a
people,
good place, you're not expecting free things. You're a
well,
giver. So
it's
when you're a giver, you don't. That's the most influential, most powerful people in this world are givers. They're not the
yeah,
people who boast about how much money they have or what they flaunt or what they got. The
no,
most powerful, most influential people are the ones who give a lot. So don't tell me you got $1 billion. Show us that you can give $1 billion, and then let's see how far you go.
I'm
Let's see
lucky.
how far you go once you give
I,
that.
I'm lucky if I've got $100, man.
Um, you know, we what is it? We're one paycheck from being poor. So some of us.
I am.
I've worked pretty hard. I've come through. I've had to come. Everything about me, man, has had to come by way of hard work. So
Yeah,
even as a wind technician, man, I I literally drove 2 states over and just walked on and was like, hey, I'm looking for a change in my life. I needed to get away. I'm 26 years old. I can believe I can be taught this. I just want a fair chance, and they took me on, man. And I never looked back.
see,
I put in like,
Technoglass is saying there, look, it is loads
yeah,
of
it's
people
true.
looking for handouts. Honestly, it's like, yeah,
It's true.
if I'll give you a handout if you've worked hard for it, you know, like I'm not giving you anything for free
Yeah,
just
man.
because you asked us, it's like that's not how it should work, really. Um, and I sometimes I even say it to the Microsoft guys, because I do speak to Phil and all the rest of them. Kind of go, sometimes you need to look at who you're giving these things to, because like I'll watch streams and oh yeah, I got the new Xbox Series X there, uh, and then it's just shoved to one side, flung to the corner, and then I don't know, they're playing COD or something, and you think, you know what it is?
Xbox Pope has spoken.
I
Do
says, do you
you
know what it
know
is?
there's so many people who agree with you right there?
There's kids out there who are going to get nothing for Christmas, or and that's, I mean, what me and my family do for Christmas. This is how, obviously we buy my son gifts, but we actually buy gifts and give them to other people who we know aren't going to get anything for Christmas. Um, and I think when when you can reach that level of being able to do that and seeing the little smiles and all the rest of it, that's like super reward. That's better than winning the lottery. Um, but I do sometimes think they need to focus more on either just stop giving people free shit or just study who they give it to, because I think, especially at this day and age, there's a lot more people who literally hype the brand so much and get nothing in
They
return.
get nothing. You know what, Pope? I can't believe. I'm gonna tell you right now. I can't believe you said it, but I'm so glad you said it on Di-Rrec Gaming. What other platform? What other platform could have gotten it that raw when this platform is built off the rawness? I'm glad that you said that because
Mm.
and honestly, now that you said that, give me 1 second, Pope. I want everybody to hear this. I'm glad now you just made it more comfortable to know that now there's somebody who is at least telling them these things, talking to them. Because I even question that. I'm not lying to you, Pope. And I'm not the only one. There's people who've been boisterous about what you just said. They were really boisterous about it. And I 100% agree. I can't even deny it because some of these people, man, they're propaganda. And I get it. Microsoft doesn't have all day long, like you said, to be on social media, seeing who's who and what's what, getting involved with all the stuff. So we get that. They're not able to sit there and see everybody.
No.
But you have people who are trustworthy in the community like you and many others who need to let them know because I would rather see a real surprise Xbox fan. And let me say that loud and clear. I would rather see the excitement of a real Xbox fan than a halfway in, halfway out YouTuber who gets us an Xbox for free simply because of the base of his following. I 100%
Or
agree,
the
and
fact
I'm glad you said it.
or the fact that he's got like a verified little tag on his name or something,
Facts.
it's like and
That's never been the core importance of the
Jesus,
Xbox community.
I've done
Never.
I mean,
It's never been.
this is not why I should warrant one, but I've done over 3,000 designs for people, all for free. Never charging them a penny.
Right.
Never
Right.
charging them a penny. Guess what I've had from Xbox over the years? Nothing. But I don't go crying to them. I don't go, well, when are you going to send me some free stuff? Like,
Right.
because
And you
I
know what,
don't.
Xbox Pope? Look where that's gotten you today.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
another thing we're going to talk about when you're done. When you're done with what you got to say, I want to move the interview over to the transition from just what you just said right there, from the day ins and days out of consistent just making controller designs, doing console work, making the controller designs, and
Yeah.
absolutely getting nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you. You wasn't getting anything in return for it, but watch this, Pope. You was getting something out of it.
Well, do you know what I look at it now is I've got something better now anyway
That's
because
it.
because
Because you was a giver.
I've got a fantastic community who know exactly who I am. Yeah, like I don't hide no secrets apart from all the NDAs I'm under. um, but the the fact is, when people say, "Oh, I don't know, I've got something like 25,000 followers or something and 70,000 on Instagram," and they go, "Oh, well, now you'll not speak to me." Like, "Well, but why not?" like
Right.
like
We're not different. We're
I
not
just
somebody special. You
exactly
know, the 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 the
just being
increase
honest.
the increase of the community in which a person has built with positive energy comes from hard consistent work.
Yeah.
It didn't come from blind followers. And I watched it. Listen, man, you was
That's
doing
nice.
this stuff
It's
every
nice.
day you come with a new design. I was like, dude, this dude, does he get any sleep?
No,
That's how I
dude.
used to say it. Like, this guy every day he's got something up there. And
There was
it's
like
just crazy, man.
there was some like a guy, and he was like, I've got an autistic 8-year old, and
Oh,
he,
okay.
he's been like looking at your work and could you do him something? And I was like, sure, all right, no worry. Look, I'm super busy at the minute, but just give us a couple of days and I'll and I think I managed to squeeze it in like literally the next day, you know, and I kind of posted it out to him, and he wrote back and he was like, honestly, you've made my son the happiest kid in the world just because he's got his own little Xbox now, and it's just a picture. Like he's never gonna have it real unless I could fund unless I could fund it to be made real, and I'm hoping the reason why I did so that obviously there's another Pope, there's Pope Art, um, and he's the Pope that kind of eventually is going to make things real, because as you can tell, the fan art, a lot of it I can't make because it's branded. There's a lot of it would need a lot of license agreements. It would need to get past copyright and all the rest of it. Whilst if I can generate skins, let's say, or controllers, that will make a little bit of money. I can then put that back into the community. So when I have situations like that where this little 8-year-old kid is like, oh, would it be awesome if I didn't surprise them with the fan art, but I surprised them with the real console and the real controller? Like, wouldn't that be epic? That's what I'm. So when people say, oh, Pope, your controllers are a bit expensive, well, what they don't realize is I'm paying American taxes, I'm paying Chinese imports, I'm paying so much out of my pocket just to even produce a controller. I haven't got the backing of Microsoft. I haven't got a $1 billion company that is making my controllers. But
That's true. You remember what they did with the special needs controller? That was legendary. That put every human being on the map, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, regardless of your handicap. Gaming is for everybody, man, and Microsoft made that official. And these are the little things. People overlook that stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you something, Xbox Pope, and I know 100% you're going to agree with me right here. To me, what makes the Xbox brand great, as far as me dealing with gaming, okay?
Yeah.
And because I've come from the whole aspect of it, from the arcades to the consoles, back out to the street tournaments, out of the street tournaments back to the arcades, then jump back to the consoles, play ranks, becoming a top 10 national player. I've done almost everything except go pro. Okay, I've never been paid to play a game, but I have won things and I have won tournaments and things like that. But what makes Xbox great to me is not the amount of sales of its console it can generate, but what it brings to the community of gaming. The fact that they built that controller for the special needs, our brothers and sisters of the special needs, that right there is what makes Xbox great to me, because I expect that out of them. The technological beauty of Microsoft, the people that come up with all kind of things at Microsoft, that's only like their work. When they did that, that's like their trademark. That's what they specialize at. That's what they do. And that's their greatness. And you wonder why they keep moving gaming forward, or they transcend the feeble mindset. Or when we hear Phil Spencer say things like, I'm cool with the gaming culture. The one thing I can't stand is the console war toxicity. When you hear him say things like that, and when you hear him say, like the other day, Sony's not the enemy. For him to have to say that in 2020, it's because the problem is this, Pope.
Yeah.
It's like you were saying. It's not Phil Spencer saying that. It's not whether Sony lies to their community or gets sued by their fan bases and all of that stuff. That's not it either. Here's the problem. It's people in places of higher platforms that are third party. Okay, get what I'm saying? Third party, who thrive off of making news or making videos that fuel stupidity. And they help market these companies, but at the same time, but so they're intertwined. I get it, they're intertwined. But what Microsoft has to understand is the toxicity does not originate in the gaming streets. It never did.
No.
The toxicity came about once we got these gaming journalists to get into this industry. The gaming journalists at first were non-biased. They just talked about the games. But once they saw that there was this breed of negativity that ran with the console war, it was easier for them to do less work. See, it was easy to run with that. And it got to be where, hey, look, let's just talk about this. Because now that's what they care about is easy. We can get these blind followers. Hey, I can say I'm this and I can say I'm that, when really I don't know what I'm talking about. Because
Yeah.
none of these gaming journalists have ever created one video game. Think about that, Xbox Pope. So why does it surprise me when I go on Twitter and I see one of them say, just talk down Watch Dogs Legion as if it was nothing. And to think that when you like whatever that person says is crown gold, you better take what I say with 100% certainty that this game is just trash. And but when you look everywhere else, that's not true. Everybody isn't saying that. And it goes right back to what you said, Pope.
Yeah.
Gaming is an individual experience. I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here. When you allow a person to dictate how you should feel about a game being played, you have already taken your integrity as a gamer out the door. You have lost your respect as a gamer right then and there. And it's not, and here's the mystery, not to anyone but yourself. But yourself. And we wonder why, Xbox Pope, we see this community that's just blinded sheep. That when you bring something up that's real, they come out to defend against it. How do you defend against something that's real? That's
Yeah.
when you know. And it's like, hey, listen, I'm not here to ruin this guy's career or this woman's career. But what I'm here to do as a gamer is to say, no, 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 no. Um, I'm not going to tolerate that for the culture of the community, because gaming is a beautiful place. It's not a place that can be dictated by one person or by many people. It's dictated by all, every single one of us. That's what made the special controllers so beautiful, because even their feelings, some of them may not even be able to talk, but it's their feeling, it's their reaction towards something that counts, that matters.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, like you say, Xbox gets a lot of it gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of hate. It gets a lot of love. It gets a lot of mixed emotions. But one thing, me being quite close with the Xbox and Microsoft guys, is one thing I've learned from them is they'll always put their heart and soul into the community, and they do try. But what people don't understand is there's also a lot of there's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of different cultures that they have to deal with. There's economics, it's a huge minefield that they're trying to cross at the same time, And I think when you say about gaming journalists kind of just sort of giving their opinion, their 5 minute opinion, is they don't see what we see, as
Right.
in they don't see the minefield, they don't see all that hard work that someone spent doing
Right.
20 hours a day,
Right.
not sleeping at night, worrying about, oh, shall I get that texture dropped in tomorrow? Shall I run that game test tomorrow? Like, they're not seeing the bigger picture first before that kind of execute their opinions. And I think going back to what I said earlier on is, look, you can look at a bad review if you want, but the beauty of Game Pass is just give the game a try,
That's
because
it.
what game might be rubbish or not so good to somebody else, it might be the best thing since sliced bread to you, you know.
That's right.
Um, and I think until you can start thinking like that as a gamer and not worrying about what other people's opinions are on that particular game that you're enjoying, then either don't post it. There's lots of things I don't post because I know for a fact it'll just cause a reaction,
Right.
and you think, I'm not here to listen to other people's negative opinions. Um, so I just choose not to share it. I just sit back and I just enjoy what I enjoy. you know
Right.
um, it's like some people might say about my fan art, oh well, I wouldn't have done that, I would have done this. And I go, well, go and do it. you know
Right.
Go and pick a pen, go and get yourself a computer, get some 3D software, get some, create your own, and
Right.
show me. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit there and go, well, that's rubbish, I wouldn't have done that. I'm going to say, fantastic work, well done. That's the difference. I'm not going to criticize your efforts,
That's right.
because what you're doing is you're just setting a bad example to 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 people. Like, what people like, I'll say some fan art will take 30 minutes, but I might have took 12 hours trying to think of the idea. Do you know what I'm saying? Or if I'm doing a design, they didn't realize that took me a year to build. Like, that's a whole year to build something. Um, for then one person to say, well, I don't like that. Well, cool. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Like, I'm not gonna force you to like it. Um, and I think that's the problem with the game industry, is when there's a slight bug, it's quick for people to go, oh, it's broken, it doesn't work, it's rubbish, I don't like this game. It's
Right.
like it's like
Because they know there's going to be some people that are just going to automatically take that and just run with it. And
yeah,
that's the point. The point that you're making is have some kind of integrity, have some kind of responsibility about yourself.
yeah,
Understand your role as a leader. Listen, if you're going to put yourself out there like that, lead. Why
yeah,
why lead foolishly? Why think that it's just because it's easy, Pope. It's easy for me to just control the blind. But it it's bigger than that. Some of
yeah,
them just have this weird, crazy attack. Okay, attachment. Let me finish saying that. I want to for right now make a quick comparison. Do y'all see Xbox Pope, right? Um Xbox Pope. He draws. He's art. He has artwork. When you look at my logo over here, Graphic God did me. There's people in the Xbox community that does things for people, artistic wise. Now notice, Xbox Pope is over here and he puts the designs on the controllers and things. Notice how this guy is so solemn about his, and we'll just use this word because for some reason this word it's dangerous to say, but not here on Di-Rrec Gaming because I understand it. Look how solemn Xbox Pope is with his fanboyism. He likes the Xbox brand. He pushes the positivity about the Xbox brand, but you don't see Xbox Pope causing chaos with it. He can
no,
be, but look, you know how you know he's a fan? Look at his work. Look at his beginnings. It's all in his work, but you don't see no war about him. You don't see war that comes along with his work, right? But he's not, because you don't see the war, because you don't see a bunch of the talking, but you've heard it clear tonight on this show, or today, or this morning, wherever you might be, that he, just because you don't see that doesn't mean he doesn't see what's going on out there. He sees it.
Oh, I see everything.
Right. You see it. And if I just want to say this, I want to say this real quick. I used to get criticized about how I am. And fair enough. I know where my humble beginnings came from. I was in that console war space. I was deep down in it when I first got on social media, but I had the understanding of it. But
Yeah.
when I finally just said, you know what? It's time to move on because I've been here and done that. And at the end of the day, listen, I'm just gonna go out here and play these Xbox games and have fun.
Kind of gets
Because
boring, doesn't it?
because it gets boring after a while. It gets boring. I'm not gonna lie, it gets boring. At some point with the console war, you hit the brick wall. And so I said, you know what? Now that it's established that I'm an Xbox fan, there's no reason for me to keep saying that. So where you was at with it, Pope, you was just ahead of the game. Me, it took me a while to get to that point. But once I got to that point and I started realizing what really makes people tick, it has nothing to do with what I say. It has everything to do about what I do. People hate what you do more than what you say. And when I come out demonstrating how much I have fun playing Xbox games, when I indulged myself over their mixer and started reaching out to the streets, and I was hitting people's DMs up. Xbox Pope is one of my witnesses to that. Trying to figure out what can I do to show people that are just like me, that you can be seen, that with enough respect, people will notice you. And listen, here's my point. And you don't have to change who you are. The new Legal's got Xbox Pope on his channel. I still got a baritone in my voice. I'm still hyped up. I'm still amped. It's still we here. It's still we bring Xbox talking. This is Di-Rrec Gaming. And you know what? Despite what you see on Twitter, me defending Xbox and just defending it and just showing some things that are true to my eyes.
It's just
Xbox
passion.
Pope can respect
passion.
that.
Yeah,
Because he doesn't see me doing it in a way that's bringing chaos. See, because you got to understand something, people. He has a brand out here. And he also knows that whoever he interacts with can either bring positivity from those on his outside sources or bring positivity to those in his outside sources or negativity. So for him to be on Di-Rrec Gaming, Xbox Pope is a man of his work. It showed me that now Di-Rrec Gaming is in a respectable place. It's a respectable place where people can come over here and have a decent conversation because now they've seen my work. They've seen the consistency of this brand. It's not about me because I'm nothing. Like I've been telling everybody, it's not the new Legal. I don't care. I'm not. This channel wasn't built upon solo act. It's about giving. So the reason I reached back to the streets and said, listen, I know what it feels like not to have a platform. I hear you guys. I know what it's like feeling like you know this language, but what y'all say and what y'all think never gets demonstrated. That's what Di-Rrec Gaming was built upon. And I never changed that. And today having Xbox Pope is just another battle, another wall that I knocked down to say, hey, we here. And look, y'all, with your hard work, people respect it. Don't think that just because, like Pope said, you got small numbers, you're not being seen. Listen, man, people see you. They see you. Just know that you're accountable for your own actions. We're all adults here, okay? So how you handle yourself as an adult will be how people treat you as an adult. So just remember that because popes come from the mud, just like me. So that respect is there. He comes from the very bottom, the scum of it all, right there. Action, and in his real life has come from being homeless. Okay, homeless. So when you see a person with a drop, what's got him here is his drive. I'm gonna tell you what got me started with Di-Rrec Gaming. The love of the gamer talk, the love of just being a gamer out here and having discussions. And I said to myself, I don't want to be that type of person anymore, sitting here and watching people because I'm bored. There's this language that I feel like is not being represented. And I took it upon myself to say, you know what? I'm going to represent this language and I'm not going to fault from it. And if the only way the new legal and Di-Rrec Gaming disappears is when the street says so. And I built it on that. So the only reason we're here, Pope, is because of the people who appreciate our work.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean
and we represent two broad spans of the spectrum. Pope is way over on the other side, but he sees me. I'm way over on the side, but I see him. And then we come together today because there's so much underappreciation of gaming that when Pope reached out to me, man, I'm like, you know what? Wow. So let's do something. Let's come together. Let's talk about some unity. Let's talk about some real things that maybe can uplift the community. You know, it's okay to be an Xbox fan. You don't have to express it by being so angry and lashing back out. Do what makes us great as an Xbox fan, and that's game on these games. You put that time in because listen to me. The devs are looking. They're the most nervous out here. I don't want a dev nervous. Why do we want devs nervous out here? So their games don't come out right? They're nervous. They're thinking, what if I do this? They're going to think this and they're going to think this. We need to make the developers very comfortable more than ever right now and just say, hey, listen, we're here to support y'all. If you give us a little clip, just a 15, 20-second clip, we'll let you know that, hey, it's going in the right direction. If you really want this pure honesty, come on out here. You know you can speak with the community. We got y'all's back. I'm telling you right now, gamers, within the Xbox community, you have power, man. You have power. And I hope that more people will see that and call out the baloney, but also respect the ham. You know, understand when it's not good for the community, say it, man. Listen, get that trash out of here right now, man. We don't need that. That doesn't matter about gaming. You know, these frame rates really don't matter. When these companies tell us now, hey, expect this and expect that. Well, yeah, we hold them to their word. So we expect when I'm buying this, I expect to get that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what me and Pope is talking about. But what me and Pope is talking about, oh, the game dipped 3 frames. So it's not 60. It went down to 57 frames per second. It's a dip. It's garbage. No, come on, man. Come on, man. You know, or this game isn't 4K native. It's dynamic in certain sequences. It had to dip low. You know why, Pope, they talk like that? Because it's just like you said. They don't understand what makes video games run smoothly.
Nah.
Because let me tell y'all
is,
something. If you don't really want to know the price tag, if they really made these video games and these consoles as powerful as they needed to be, so that we would never complain, y'all would be complaining about how high the cost is. So at this point, shut up. Really, just shut up. Be thankful for what you got. Play these games. And when you do criticize, critique it in a way that's positive. That's the best thing that I can say right now.
Exactly. You can actually criticize something in a nice way, you know.
Yeah. Constructive criticism never hurt anything.
It's
having an approach shows maturity.
It's definitely something people need to really sort of focus on, you know, because like I say, it is soul destroying. You know, like I say, I've got a lot of developers that follow me, and you know, I talk to them behind the scenes, and I kind of go, you know, well done on everything you've done, you know. Oh no, but we're getting a lot of we're getting a lot of stick at, a lot of hate at the minute, and I'll kind of go, listen, it's just, it could be a mixture of just passionate people just voicing their opinion, but I wouldn't just just don't take it to heart, but they kind of do take it to
Yeah,
heart. So
they do.
when
Right.
when when you kind of say, look, at great effort, guys, but if you can just push this a little bit, it would be spot on. That'd be great, that's giving someone positive feedback, but at the same time voicing your opinion, um, and I think if people did that a little bit more, these guys would feel a little bit more special, because without them and their knowledge, you're not going to have any games at all.
Right.
um, you're just going to left with a piece of hardware. Um, and it's the same with the hot, like what, a couple of weeks ago I was speaking in teams with Jason Rowland and David Bryan, the elite guy, um, and this they see all the feedback, they see all the comments, and even I'm no hardware expert, and I'm kind of like trying to reassure these guys, like, you know, you have done good, just don't worry about it. But I think what also people need to realize is that this hardware is designed not for this year, not for next year, but for the years to come. So as the technology tries, or the software tries to catch up to the technology, um, better things will come, Um, but unfortunately, people just have to learn to wait, um, which is very hard these days. I think everybody wants things tomorrow. um,
You're right. You're absolutely right. And we're in a world where, since it's social media, I can hide behind the screen. I can hide behind the mouse. I can hide behind the keyboard. And
yeah,
so you have a lot of people, Pope, that insult themselves, fake themselves out, Pope,
yeah,
over social media. And I never understood that aspect of a human being, that something is that important that you play yourself for it. Listen, man, it's not, nothing is that serious where you have to fake yourself out to be heard or something. You know,
no,
a lot of these people wouldn't say anything in real life. So if you're not going to say anything in real life, don't say nothing on social media. Keep it
exactly.
100 with yourself. But we have a lot of people who are not known for gaming. Xbox Pope is known for graphic design work. He's known for brand work all across the world. All across the world.
But what they don't say is the stuff I do behind the scenes,
Yeah. So
helping
it's not like
help,
you
helping
don't have to
families.
amplify yourself. I have to amplify myself
The
because
thing is, the thing
I
is,
don't.
I get a lot of messages and stuff. That people, like you say, who say that you're quite small. Let's say, or poor, or I had one yesterday. I think, yeah, he was just trying to raise $100. I think it was, just for
Right.
his for a charity, And rather than me saying, uh, you know, like, give this guy $100, somebody, I thought, well, what's the most easiest way to go about that? So it was like, if 100 people, and I've got 25,000 followers, so all I need is 100 of my followers to give $1 each, which is nothing really. Then he's got his $100 for his charity, and and I think that is a more nicer way to respond to somebody or help somebody out than trying to put the pressure on one person
Right.
to give $100, um,
Right.
and I think, um, but I'm using that example is because what you see in social media is, well, I haven't got the numbers. Yeah, but you have really got the numbers, because it's how you work your social media, how you construct your wording, how you do. Um, you might know a friend who is good at graphic design. Or can you do as a graphic to help us push this? Or you might know somebody who's good at doing videos. So you go, can you do as a little video that might like make more people aware of this? And like you mentioned, Graphic God before, he's done stuff for people for free. I've done
Right.
stuff for people for free. Like we're as a community, we've all got each other's backs, and when we're all trying to do something,
Right.
s-
And we all have something we're good at. So
exactly.
like I've always said this. I looked at you as the one that does the designing, the industry guy, right? He's the industry guy type of designer. Then you have somebody like Graphics God where he's the graffiti designer. He does art, but he does it on a street way of doing it. He's like a graffiti painter. And when you look at this stuff, when you can combine, you know what would be awesome to see? Xbox Pope and Graphic God mixture, like a collaborate, a collision, boom. And what it would do for the Xbox community. Because let me tell you something, it's very unique to know you guys. It's very, I've pretty much, as far as when it comes to artwork and design work, I've hit it.
Yeah.
I've gotten a chance to meet you and him. Some of the best to do it, the best to do it that are known to do it in their space. And you want to know what's funny? I don't see people like y'all in other communities. I don't see it. Notice, y'all. You are everywhere, and you know what? You have been able to versatile your artwork to where you're not just known now, far as the work for the Xbox brand. And see, that's astounding because once you was able to brand yourself, Pope, now sky's the limit.
Oh, I've got some
And Pope,
big surprises.
what was your success story just few days ago? Who was it that
Uh,
you now working for? Just the
so,
one that you talked about.
so NZXT, it's a PC company. So I mean, these guys make some of the sexiest PCs I've ever seen. Um, and 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 for years I've always had, Phil, are you going to hire Xbox Pope? Or are you going to work for Microsoft? Are you going to work for X? Never did I think I would work for a PC company like.
Right.
But
That's the thing,
um,
isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it?
and I think
Man,
sometimes you got to
you
kind of
never know
mix.
your steps because the steps are not given to your own logic. You're put where you need to go because that's where you need to go.
Yeah.
You're not there by coincidence.
I mean, to answer people's questions, and I sometimes do say, you know, oh, why isn't Phil hiring you? Listen, me and Phil's had lots of conversations, and Phil would love for me to be on that team, on the Xbox team. But it's just not as simple as that, you know. It's
Right.
it's not as simple as just walking into a job and
Yeah, getting hired. This isn't like you go to
it's
Kroger's and fill out an application and
it's
get hired.
it's
Right.
so Phil's a great friend of mine, and would would he have me on the Xbox team? Yeah, tomorrow, like tonight, he would have us straight there. But unfortunately, I'm a huge believe in destiny fan. Like your life's already planned out, really, and you're just waiting for that moment to kind of go down the right path. Like I say, I didn't expect to work for a PC company, but now I am. Um,
Right.
but does it mean all the Xbox and PlayStation stuff comes to an end? No, not really, because I'm partnered with 2K, I'm partnered with Nacon, I'm partnered with Square Enix, I'm partnered with EA, I'm partnered with um, lots of other big ones. I've got 10 partnerships to announce yet.
That's
Like
big.
people don't realize what's coming. Um, am I doing PlayStation work? Yes. Am I doing Nintendo work? Yes. So it's all coming. The problem is I've just got to take each step as it comes, you know.
Right.
And unfortunately, because of what's happened and all these demands that have come in from the bigger names, it's distracted us a little bit away from the community. So I feel a little bit lost at the minute because I'm not being able to help the smaller Twitch channels. I'm not being able to help, you know, smaller members of the community to, to hype their awareness.
Right.
So it has kind of upset us a little bit internally. Um, but it's just, you know, and I keep putting tweets out saying just bear with us, things are coming, you know, because um, that's where my bread and butter is. That's who Pope is. You know, he takes small people and he makes them um, into not bigger things, but just makes people aware. Like, you know, check this person out. They're a really nice person.
Right.
Even when I've had the team calls with the developers or Microsoft and stuff, I'll go, listen, I'm not going to chat to you on email or message. Let's do a call. Let's talk face to face, because I think sometimes words can give the wrong impression about somebody.
Right.
So there was a guy the other day, I think he said something and it did come across like he was being a bit of a troll, but actually was a really nice guy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes you shouldn't judge people just by what they say. I think sometimes you do need to follow up and maybe have a chat with this person, have a discussion, and you probably find that the person who you thought was a troll was actually quite a cool person, you know.
Right. You
Um,
can't sit here. Exactly. We don't know. You don't know these. Listen, like we said, this is social media. You're seeing people put up um, their social media names and computer code names and all this other stuff,
yeah,
gamer tags and all this stuff, right? But they're still human beings. I don't wish harm on anybody. I don't hate the people on social media. The reasons why, Pope, simply because I don't know them.
no, that's it.
I don't know them. I can't hate something I don't
So
know.
it's kind of my job to make people aware. So when I say to somebody in my feed, go check this person out, follow them, like I hope people trust me in the amount of research I've done on that person to justify that they're actually a good person, you know. Um, so that's kind of what I hope happens when I tweet something out, you know, about somebody. Um, I haven't just randomly met this person, you know, like I've had to work hard to study them, you know, and find out that, you know, they're not. I mean, you're never going to fully understand a person, you know, um, but at least you can, you know, do a bit of groundwork first, find out that they're generally quite a nice guy or woman, and it just get to know them, you know. Jump on a game, like go on to Xbox Live and have a little game session, have a chat. You never know, you know.
You're right, because I'm actually having a little bit of Sea of Thieves. What do you call it? What do you call that? A type of feeling that you get. Oh, there you go. It's a Sea of Thieves urge. I'm having this urge for Sea of Thieves, right?
Just get yourself a
Because
small
it's
and
just
play.
I just want to go have some fun.
Yeah,
I remember how fun it was. I'm thinking about hitting up some of my teammates that I used to play. Look, these guys were phenomenal. The, I think I think a lot of them were from the UK, man,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they just, I mean, from day one, they knew how to read the map. They knew where to go. They knew how to do it, and I would just love tagging along with them, right?
Like jump in a session with me on Sea of Thieves, and I'll take you to mine and Xbox little
You
island.
you let's do it.
Oh, yeah,
Look, matter of fact, I'll record it. So let's keep the collaboration going then, Pope. Let's do it.
likewise. Yeah.
I'll record it. As a matter of fact, let me let's try to
Do you
do
know?
something.
Do you know what it is?
I'll reach out.
I don't know
Yeah,
how many people
let's
can
let's try to get
subtract.
at least at the minimum 3. If I can't get 4 players, we'll go with 3. That'll be fine.
No,
But
I can easily get players. Don't worry about
oh,
that.
you can get. Well, then I'm right where I want to be. Where
I,
I'm sitting up
I'll,
here.
t-
Just tell me what to do.
I'll tell you what.
Roll this. Drop the sails.
I'll,
Hit the anchor, dude. I like doing
I'll,
that stuff.
I'll even try and get some rare team players in. I might even ask Craig Duncan if he wants to drop in.
Facts. The only part that I hate, we don't have mix anymore. People won't be able to hear y'all's voices, but I'll
No, it's
make
fine.
sure I do everything I can to make it fun. And the thing about it, I think what was I gonna say? No, you didn't interrupt it. It's fine. But I'm trying to think. What was I gonna elaborate on?
The
Um,
thing i- the
it
thing
was
is, what I'll
was
just quickly say is what we've just done there is we've just technically introduced ourselves to this thing called Xbox Live, and it's quite a good. It's been going a long time, Xbox Live, and it's quite cool because you give each other your gamer tags, and you kind of like sit down and have a game with each other, like,
right.
and it doesn't matter where you are in the world as long as you're in an okay time zone. Like your time difference is a bit long for me.
Right.
Um, isn't that a fantastic concept? And it's dead easy. So why aren't people just doing it more often? Get to know each other. And if you don't like the person after a game, then you just don't game with them anymore. but
That's right.
but you never know. You might actually become good friends. You might one day meet up at E3. You might meet up at like a PAX event one day. Like it's all about networking. Like I network all the time.
I remember what I
Um,
was about to say. I remember now. Thank you for you stayed on it to where I remember. Here no, that's right. Thank you, man, for making me remember. You're right. This is what I was gonna say. This is what I was gonna say. To me, I've lived most of my life. I wouldn't say all my life because you got to learn this, but most of my life, right? That there's no reward in people who love you. You are expected to be loved by people who you love and you are around. You, sort of say your loved ones. Okay. So
yeah,
when you're around your loved ones, of course you're gonna receive love. The thing with me, Xbox Pope, is that I've always tried to step off my ship or step off the boat or get off the ladder and go mingle with people that I don't really know or not comfortable around and
yeah,
see if things can be won over. The challenge of unity and getting along has always been my driving force. Diversity, being able to respect somebody, being able to show some loyalty about some things, being able to hold some integrity is what I've always based myself around. But at the same time, not ignoring or compromising what I believe in or insulting my own integrity just because I feel like I need to fit in. So I've never been the type of person that just died to want to fit in anywhere, but stand out, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
Standing out is a whole lot better than fitting in. And so when I when I started doing this, I knew that it was going to be an uphill battle. I was told nobody was going to listen to me. I was told that, oh, you just this Xbox fanboy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's making this channel just to diss the PlayStation or Nintendo or anything else that's not Xbox. That's what they thought. See, that's what they thought. But I already knew what I was building. I knew because I saw the person who deliberately reached in their pocket to establish the groundwork for direct gaming. This didn't happen because of the new legal. Direct gaming happened because of somebody else. And as a result of that, that's the basic fundamental value of this channel.
yeah,
Everything about this channel, Pope, is about everyone. Everybody that is putting something into it. I'm not here to put no pressure on nobody. I'm not here to
yeah,
tell somebody what to do. I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm not here to tell you how to feel. But one thing's for sure, when you come to direct gaming, oh man, if you're an Xbox fan or a real gamer, you come here to have a good time. And I'm glad that we're going to demonstrate that today on Sea of Thieves because I didn't know you played it.
Yeah.
I
I don't
didn't know
have.
you played Sea of Thieves, but
I
I
know.
know Sea of Thieves is very popular overseas. It's
I
very,
know.
very popular because y'all like to get your tea, y'all like to get y'all's beer, and that game does it for y'all, man. Y'all get on them ships, man, and y'all go at it. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of bantering. I've never had so much fun, man,
The
out of
thing
the
is,
UK presence
the thing
than
is,
than playing
because
on that game.
the thing is, in England, obviously where I live, I'm not. Well, obviously I can't discriminate between north and south, but where I'm from in the north, we're sort of brought up to just be like a fun,
Right,
caring type of person, if you know what I mean. So
right,
when we game, we just have a pure laugh, you know.
right,
Even when I'm on social media, my whole social channel is about having a laugh, having them cheeky little moments that you can kind of just tease someone a little bit, you know. And that's hard for somebody else to accept because they haven't been brought up in that way, you know. And I think the beauty with Sea of Thieves is because it's a lot of mixed cultured people.
right,
All of a sudden, you start learning things, you start behaving differently, you start treating others differently. Um, so that's the beauty of gaming when you're gaming with people from all over the world is just because you're in America and you have your certain ways of doing things. But here in Europe, we have many different cultures, many different languages. Um, doesn't mean you can't learn from them, you know. But like you said, I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not here to tell you how you should behave. But you may just go, you know, it is. Pope's quite a cool dude. I'm gonna use some of that myself. I'm going to start being more funny. I'm going to start being more chilled, not take things too serious. Like like I don't take anything serious, you know. Um, so like yeah, the more people game with one another, not just your close friends, like you say, you might have your own little clan that you just game with, but just experiment a little bit, you know. Don't be scared to kind of jump on social media and say, I'm going to jump on this game tonight. Anybody fancy joining us?
facts. There you
This
go.
this is my gamer tag.
There you go.
Xbox is pretty secure, you know. Like if you do give your gamer tag out, it's not, you're not going to get, hacked or whatnot, and and providing like for me personally, I have like two-step authentication on everything I do, you know. Um, so it's pretty safe. Don't be scared. You know, if I give my gamer tag out, I'm gonna have like all these annoying messages. And if you do get annoying messages, I don't know, just block them or something, or just delete them. Like don't like don't worry about it. um, but what out of 100 people, you might just find 10 brand new friends. Um, and you never know, them friends might be from different countries. Next time we're allowed to travel, you might go, do you know this? I've met this fantastic person. He lives in, I don't know, Italy. We're going to Italy on holiday and we're going to meet this person. you know, whole new friendship. I think some people live in a bubble. Like they just
Right.
think
That comfort zone.
like that their home is their world. Well, really, the world is a lot bigger. Um, and I think that's why Pope gets a lot of respect, is because I, I kind of venture in different zones. So, like you said before, you're not scared to venture out. Well, neither am I. I'll talk to anyone across the world, you know. Um, and going back to things that ground you. So the one thing that grounds me. So I have a quote that keeps Pope grounded, and it's so to the world you're just one person, but to one person you might be the world. And that's kind of what I stick to. So they're That's my rules of how I treat life.
Right.
And what it means by that is, just because you might have big numbers, you might have uh, a lot of attention, just don't be selfish about it. Don't, just because some dude's got, like, I don't know, 10 followers doesn't mean that person's less important.
Speak on it.
So that's kind of also what you should be doing if you want to grow your channel, if you want to grow your social media, if you want to become something that you inspire to, you want to be an influencer, you want to be a streamer, you want to be whatever you want to do, but also consider others first. Don't just look at numbers, look at people, and don't be scared to talk to people, because, like I said the other day, that person was, straight away I said he's a troll, and I nearly blocked him, to be fair, because I thought, I cannot be bothered. But what ended up being a troll ended up donating $100 to charity. Now,
Right.
so you cannot judge a book by its cover. Get to know somebody first, like you said earlier in your stream. Who's Xbox Pope? You didn't know who I was. You give me a chance. You started getting to know us. You found out, actually, Pope's quite a cool dude. And, next 2 years later, we're talking on a podcast.
That's true. It's facts.
Maybe it's
It's
next year.
100% facts.
Maybe it's next year,
You
because I'm.
you shocked me uh, earlier this year when you actually made a controller for me. We hadn't even spoke. That came out of nowhere. We was having a hard time over here. Our country suffers from a lot of racism,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
and you did something that came out of nowhere, and it it resonated because that's the type. That's funny, man. That's funny that, because look, we don't have to sit here and make up no story for nobody. I don't care if people don't believe our story. But
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, it's funny how it, and this is why I give credit to the streets, because I consider you a part of us. Your work just amplified who we are as gamers. You've come right out of our culture. And the one good thing about it is you don't forget where you come from. With that,
definitely not.
when you did that, you would expect people within the higher places in the media aspect to have done something like that before you would even have done something like that. You would think that would have automatically been in their minds. But like I keep telling people, you're not known by who you say you are. You're known by what you do. You can tell me you're this and that all day till your face turn blue. But if you don't show nobody anything behind those words, means absolutely nothing. Why is it that the people who are their influence comes from a different angle? I should say that, because you have a good influence. Your influence just comes in a different angle. But
Yeah,
let's just say where I'm at, I'm dealing with the streets. I'm dealing with the gaming journalists, all this stuff, because that's the angle that I decided to dive into. That's a choice. I don't have to stay there. I don't have to do that. But that's the choice I made for myself. Now, with that choice, there's things on the dotted line that must come with it. You got the trolls, you got the over emotional rant boys, and you got people who are very cool. You got people who are very laid back. You got people who got your back. You got the whole nine over here, right? But when that controller came by you, it made me think differently. Like damn, man.
yeah. I think so.
Somebody
Story.
somebody to pick me out of every
Yeah.
every any black man on Twitter, any black gamer on Twitter.
So yeah, I'd say
Somebody
it's.
that
I,
picked
know-
me.
I know. I know it's easy for you. Like, I understand. I see the news, so I understand. There's a lot of racial things going on at the minute, but personally, I just don't see. Like, I don't see color. If you know what I mean. I don't.
Right,
Like, I just see people. Like,
right,
do you know? So for me, I, I don't do things because I know someone's poor, someone's rich, someone's this, someone's that. I just do stuff because I feel that person just needs a little bit of arm around them, just say, yeah, mate, it's all right, I've got your back.
Yeah,
you know,
it
and
came at a time, it came right on time because I saw a lot of my brothers in the game and in these
yeah,
game streets that were down and out. I saw their post, and all we're doing is we're just trying to tell each other, hey, stay safe, keep your head up. We're trying to,
yeah, yeah,
with courage and when you did that, man, that was like we hadn't spoke since then. Normally, the most you would ever get out of me was probably a like on a console design or a controller design you probably had done, but we hadn't talked.
yeah. I remember
You
doing
know,
this. So there's this guy, and he was heading to like 2 million gamer score or something, and so I did him like a controller just to say, well done. But what he didn't know, right, is that me and his wife had been working behind the scenes and making it for real, right? So as he was about to hit the 2 million gamer score on Xbox, how he achieved it was with the actual controller that I designed him. So he actually got the controller and his 2 million gamer score. And do you know what I mean? So people don't see those things that I do, or
right,
the fact, like the autistic kid, or there was another guy who's going through a lot of mental strain. I did him something special behind the scenes, and he says, like, you literally saved my life, because he was going to do something that not many people would like to see done, and so what you got to remember is sometimes not what I do, but sometimes what you do, or people in your chat. Just look around, just observe your community, observe what's happening. Don't just like, you don't have to respond to people. You can just say, oh God, that person's having a bit of a shit time, innit? Like, you can either reach out, or you can maybe go away for a couple of days and think, what can I do to make this person feel a little bit special? Or I tell you what, I'll save a couple of dollars together and I'll get them a game code and I'll send them a game. Or I'll, I don't know, send them a box of chocolates or something. It doesn't really matter, as long as that person who you respond to knows they've got an they've got an arm around them. And I think that's what people don't realize, how powerful our gaming community is that what I always say is, when one of us falls down, we're all there to pick you up.
right,
Um, and that's pretty powerful, um, to have that support behind. But just all I would wish for is that, don't be scared of the Pope, because I do get it. I think it was this prison guy. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know, dealing with like some of the meanest prison in America or something, And he says it took him 3 weeks to build up the confidence to be able to speak to Xbox Pope. And I goes, why? Well, because you're Xbox Pope. And I went, yeah. I was like, mate, please. Like, I'm just a normal dude. Like, like, you can talk to us any time. Don't worry about it, Like, I, and and I think that's what I love the most. I love talking to people. I love sort of, just randomly someone dropping a message. Hey, Pope, how's it going? Oh, it's going fine, yeah.
right,
Because sometimes I have bad days. Sometimes I need something's a little bit of an arm around me to say, how's it going? Oh, it's not going great. I'm having a bit of a bad day today, So it can be difficult being somebody that people look up to as well, Um, but I think, just rather than tweet something because you want attention, or you want to just get something out, also just observe. That's all I'm saying. Just observe people, um, because I think sometimes we'll lose too many people in the gaming community. Um, and you kind of regret it. You kind of think, God, I wish I'd spoke to that person now.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I hope it's give you a little bit of an insight to my crazy world.
That's
Um,
it, folks. Good job, man. I
and
told you do just fine, brother. Look
and,
at you.
and, and
Hey,
honestly,
by the way, this is Pope's very first podcast show.
just don't just yeah. Those people in the chat, those people in the chat, just don't be a stranger to who you know. Spread your wings a little bit, get to know people. You never know, they might become your best friend someday. Um,
Facts.
or they might be your worst enemy at the same time, like.
That's right, man.
But until you experiment, you're never gonna know. I think I had a guy was it yesterday? So he wants to move to. Actually, I think he wants to move to Texas,
Come on down, brother. That's where I'm at. Come
and
down to the third coast.
right, and he said, "Oh well, I'm a certain type of designer," and I was like, "Okay, but the job asked for a different type of designer," and I was like, "Yeah, just because it's got a different title doesn't mean you can't do it, you know." But what you could also do is just go on YouTube. There's lots of YouTube videos on how to do stuff, or go to the library, read some books, like just re-educate yourself into thingy. So anyway, he's went and applied for the job because, like, I give him the confidence just to actually try something new, and and I think sometimes some people just need that little bit of push, you know. They just need that little bit of confidence boost to say, yeah, I can fucking do this, I can actually do this. Um, and I think we need a lot more of that in the community, just to sort of say, just because you're one person doesn't mean you can't be somebody else, So if you want your numbers to grow, just work hard. Um, you can't be you can't be cool every day. You're gonna have days where you are gonna be a grumpy old person,
Right.
and also take breaks from social media because it will grind you down a bit, like.
You're
So
right,
there,
brother. Well, Pope, end it, man. End it.
yeah.
Let them know. Give them some insight. End it
Uh,
off. End it off, man. Let them know where they can find you.
so I have got it. So a couple of weeks, I reckon I've got another Xbox you can win. Then I've got some surprises coming, more surprises coming in December, and then I've got a huge drop sometime in December, um, which I think that one might get a lot of attention, um, just because of what it's going to be or what it is. And then I've got lots of new things coming out next year. Um, but hopefully, I'm looking forward to we can actually get out of this stupid lockdown. And I
Yeah, man.
and I
Me too, brother. I,
and
I'm
I.
I'm thinking about getting into the esports area, man.
All
We
right.
have it over here. It's like down the street from me, man, like 20 minutes. But I
Oh
can't
well.
get in there and do what mingle around because of this COVID, man.
Well,
It's been kind of hard.
I know a lot of esport teams. So if you ever need any help, just give us a shout. But
Oh man, definitely,
the
man.
the the other side of that is just being able to see people. So I'm hoping now that I'm in the gaming industry, technically, um, I could come to different shows and you just can finally meet the Pope. um, and hopefully you'll get some lots of new exciting designs coming out next year.
Well, man, Pope, I appreciate your time.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I appreciate your energy and your story, man, along with your honesty. Like I said, you're one who has started in the mud and came all the way up and went
Well, it
right
doesn't matter
into
how
the
big I
industry.
get, I'll still be the guy in the mud. Don't worry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You are. Yeah,
Uh,
you haven't changed a bit, man. You
yeah,
haven't changed a bit,
I'll never
and
change.
that's good though. We need that, man. And like I said, we're thankful that you actually voice things, man, that and you're saying the right stuff. For what you said on the show, you're saying the right stuff, man, and I hope that they listen to you. And if there's anybody else saying that exact same things, I hope that they listen to you.
Oh,
And
they listen to me because I keep telling them. I keep saying, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna. I'm gonna come and curse you if you don't stop as well.
So yeah, man, I'm glad that that's going on. Like I said, man, it's good to have you. Thank you so much for doing this, man, and reaching
Uh-huh.
out to me. We made it happen. So thanks to the chat. Thanks to
Yeah.
the almighty chat, man, the chat room. Thanks to the Xbox Live community. Thanks to all the real gamers out there. Always remember, keep it gaming.
Yeah.
Chase the one
Exactly.
up in life. And Xbox rocks and it don't stop. Shouts to my panel rogue Enigma 17, Technoblast, and the General. We are Di-Rrec Gaming. Xbox Pope. I got my submarine, man. I'm gonna come out there where you at, pick you up, man. Let's go to Hawaii, and then from Hawaii, let's go to New Zealand, and then from there, let's go to Japan.
All
Let's go
right.
see what they're doing over there in Japan, man. Let's see how many Xbox sales have been going on over there. Let's meet some of these Japanese Xbox marketers over there, man. So I'll be over there in a minute, man. It may take me maybe I say about 4 or 5 hours. I have a Nemo submarine, so it goes pretty fast, man. I'll be over there in a little bit, man. And then when we get off of that, we can get on some Sea of Thieves. How's that sound, bro?
Yeah. No worries.
All right, y'all. We're out of here. And once again, thank y'all for coming out. See you guys soon.
See you later. Bye.